Kind of missed that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for. The good news, bad news, and the other shit. Well, some things are obvious today, more and more obvious. One of the more obvious things is that the president obviously doesn't give a shit about segments of our society. That's the take-home message. If you take a look at what's going on in Texas, Florida, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico, it looks like that's kind of the sliding scale of attention, and with the tension in Texas being essentially inadequate, too, because the design is inadequate. That's what we're talking about today. Today, the topic is the current state of our natural disaster and why we aren't doing any better. Has anybody have wondered why we aren't doing better? Because obviously that's the part that tells you how much you matter to the government. It's sad, but it's true. It also has to do with who gets hit and the power that you have politically.
Yeah.
If this California, it would have been handled differently. It's one of the reasons I live in California. But it's just the truth. These places that were hit the hardest were tended to be more working class or poor, more ethnic, and therefore it looks to be that they are being handled accordingly. After a while, things begin to be obvious. It's a matter of money. Just like health care, which I've long stated should have been available for you. It has to do with how we spend our money. You know, I spent 30 years as a practicing pediatrician handling mostly emergency, inpatient. We had to plan and anticipate. As a physician, you train to anticipate the problems that you have. They're not supposed to sneak up on you. It's supposed to have snuck up on the doctor back in 17-something. But by now, you're supposed to anticipate problems. So that means what you should have done is convened experts from all around the world to talk about what are the major threats to the United States and other parts of the world, make it a global thing. But identify them. Identify the major threats of disaster around the world and get them up on a bulletin board. Then identify strategies to prepare for these. Strategies that you implement. It's like, for example, when you get to the ER, we're not figuring shit out. you coming, man, you come with a heart attack. And then what are we supposed to say? Hey, Bob, what do you think we ought to do? I don't know, call Stan. Let's see what Stan, what do you think? I don't know. Wait, why don't we get together and talk about it? People would die.
Right.
So you're supposed to anticipate these problems and have an infrastructure available. That's what we're supposed to do. FEMA's got to be way bigger, obviously, than what it is. That's the way you evaluate things. It's not. Don't take it as a criticism of FEMA, which it seems to be all this bad blood. I don't understand. Really bad press. Not helpful. Because whatever FEMA needs to do better, if they feel they're doing their best, then we need to triple their resources, right? Whatever that's how you do it. You look at what you're doing, how it is measuring up to the problem, and then you increase resources accordingly. It's very straightforward, very obvious if you're trying to take care of the problem. It's not that on that level. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. You're supposed to assess what you're doing, reassess always, and adjust. That's a matter of operation and skill.
You don't think it's not political?
Well, it is political. That's why they're not doing any of that. This is not the way the military. If you would just assume military protocol in all the areas, then you would have a different thing happening. This is what I'm talking about. You need to have this because you're going to have more and more disasters. Ignoring global warming doesn't make it go away. looking at what's already occurred, there's obviously a need for an infrastructure so that when things go bad, you come in. If you have a knockout of the cell towers, do you know how fast they put up a cell tower in a military zone when they need it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why isn't that Puerto Rico? Why isn't that Puerto Rico? Why isn't that Puerto Rico that we want a military tower or we want those things done? You know, because it's not a priority. It's not a priority.
Yeah.
So the whole issue is a matter of money, anticipating and preparing for the problem, which again, I'm a trained physician. This is what we do every day. But this is what should be done. Obviously, it's not enough.
They're leveraging.
And so then the politics comes in, and meanwhile, people will die.
What did they say? Puerto Rico is what? Is it 75 billion in debt? See, when you bring that subject up first,
Debt
and
to who?
then
I always
remember,
go.
if
My
they
thing
bring
is
it up,
always when they
but
say you in debt,
no,
I would
what?
say debt to who?
If you couch it first,
right.
you give the position of someone else being, well, what does that have to do with it? And it says, I'm just keeping you currently apprised of the situation. And that's what's happening. It's no different than anything else. If I lay the groundwork for why this may or may not be an issue, you'll blame. They'll sit back and say, who do you blame when they say people will die? I said, it's collateral acceptance. And Mario, is there any place on this planet that's better prepared for things of Mother Nature's calling? Maybe Japan, better prepared.
They said Japan was, but take Fukushima as your example.
Right. So
and
what does that tell you?
they still haven't handled that right.
Right. So
that was supposed to be the best. They did a poor job.
Right. So what does that
tell you?
Still
haven't handled it.
So you know. So you do know that you have two choices here with us. Here. So which side of the continental shelf do you want to be on? I know this continental divide is a little bit east, but you do know what side you want to be on? The California side that's an island? You want to be on the side that's on the mainland because it's coming,
I want
right?
to be side with the people with money because that's what's going to help go.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
The broke people, they're going to let you die.
That's
what they've always done.
If it happens with LA, let's see how much rescue happens.
Lord. Take a look, you guys. I posted this on Facebook about the mayor of Puerto Rico and FEMA publicly disagreeing. And he's actually said, and I'm quoting, that he's filtering her out.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's simply amazing.
Yeah.
Got to mention these things. Also, the president, as part of the news, we do our weekly Trump disaster update. So the president, we're waiting for Mueller. The president and Republican Corker get into a public thing. Now, he's going to need these people when he's impeached. And he called the White House an adult daycare center. This is a Republican. So this turning into that. Now, what he doesn't recognize is he's digging the holes. Because he's going to need these people when that impeachment thing comes down. He's going to need McCain. He's going to need all of these. Lord, the president.
Hey, yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Also, I got to give thumbs up to Los Angeles that has replaced Columbus Day with a holiday called, what is it, Indigenous Persons? Here it is right here. So no more Columbus Day. Now we have, what is it called, Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, I guess.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, no, I think it's important, but look, they said one time when you open your mouth, you do know you're going to get a rash of what they call responders who are going to go like, don't get on the bandwagon. Do you stand for this position or do you wait for somebody else to establish? Remember, I say activators are the one who do it. They do it by activating and going out and do it. The rest of us, we may talk about it. So I believe you just, you give recognition. It's not an either or. in addition to. That's all I'm saying. So I don't want to cancel anyone out. I just say, can you add this? So I think that's important. But this is, Southern California is a melting pot in a different way. So, this can go through pretty easy. It's a little bit different. They already think that we're a different species. You do know that, man. La La Land. We're a different species. We're the minority here. In addition to being in the minority, Just want to let you know that, man. Keep your breaths.
Well, the saga continues. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the good news.